Manchester City forced out Kevin De Bruyne against his will. In a world where the likes of Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk in his mid-30s getting a £400,000 a week deal, multiple years. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, dropped a masterclass performance in the Crystal Palace comeback when they went, 2 goals down and ended up winning 5-2. I don't imagine he wants to stay for long, and of course there's uncertainty with Manchester City in the background, but I did find these quotes, which I'm going to show you a video clip in just a moment, very interesting. And of course, there's been rumours, and Football365.com writes about the ultimate Premier League betrayal. Of course, absolutely dramatic. The Premier League always is, and I like to react to the big stories here, so thanks for joining me. If you want to support the content, then you can just like and subscribe. There's daily videos here on Football Yannick. And yeah, you could be a part of the growing community, which is great fun. So thank you to all the newcomers and all the new subscribers. And yeah, I'm going to show you this video now. You will be able to hear the audio. I've already heard it, but I can read the subtitles. But let's just watch the whole thing through, and then we can talk about it and talk about potential landing destinations and whether the ultimate betrayal could happen. So here's the video.
Really say what they think on the inside, so
Are you willing to share any of the reasons at all, given the decision that was made? Like, what did they say to you? Anything that you can share?
well, it was very brief. I don't really feel like I want to share because it's basically more business wise for them. They just make a decision based on that. It was not really a long conversation, it was just what they told me, and yeah, then there's nothing. I have to accept the situation, even that I feel like I can still do a good job. No, I don't feel awkward. You know, in the end, it is what it is. You know, I have to accept people taking decisions. Like I think I told them also, I feel like I still have a lot to give. Obviously, I know I'm not 25 anymore, but I still feel I can do my job. So, you know.
Right. So that was awkward. He's pretty much said it was very brief. He said things like it was really brief. He took me into a room, basically said, "We don't want you anymore. It's a business decision." For him to say it was very brief is a very pointed comment. He's saying, "Oh look, he could be like, oh, it's time to part ways. It's been a magnificent, beautiful, long journey. We've won it all. It's been, you know, such a proud thing for me to wear this shirt. And we both go our separate ways and wish each other well, yada, yada, yada." No, none of that. He was like, well, they took me into a room. It was very brief and said they didn't want me anymore. I think I've got a lot to give. I know I'm not young, but I think I could still play really, really well. And basically, they're kicking me out of Man City. The current Manchester City captain, excuse me, hay fever today is off the ruddy charts. I'm just going to sip some of my sweet hot coffee. Let me pause the recording. Yeah, so KDB currently playing well for Man City, starting all the games. We know Guardiola loves him, so this isn't a Guardiola decision, well, almost certainly. I think if you said to Pep, would you keep Kev just to knock about, he'd say yes. He scored that great free kick. He sort of sparked the comeback, played really well. He seems to be playing 90 minutes and running a lot. And I think probably the biggest kick in the teeth is the fact how what Liverpool, who have won the Premier League, have done with their, you know, like their players. Essentially, he's the same age as Virgil van Dijk, who's been given a 2-year deal on £400,000 a week. I reacted to that story because I thought it was pretty big. Yesterday I did a video speaking about that. If you want my thoughts and take on the contract for Van Dijk, go watch that. And I'm not even sure that's a 1+1. I think that's a straight 2-year deal, committing £40 million pounds, best part of, to wages for Virgil van Dijk. Now you could say Man City, looking at loads of different creators and succession planning, but you could, if he's really, there's a few things to consider here. If he really thinks he's in good nick and he's playing well, I mean, he's playing well lately, why don't you just give him a 1+1? And you can choose to trigger it if you want to, you know? It just seems, he seems gutted. He seems literally like he's been pushed out the back door the way he's talking. And it is, because footballers, A, don't need to talk to the media. B, should they choose to talk to the media, they could be like I said earlier, it's the end of a beautiful marriage, it's wonderful, and, you know, I'm going to be 34 next season, whatever. He said, no, I've got more to give. Essentially, I want to stay, and they just basically took me into a room and gave me a very brief, see you later, mate. You know, so, again, he'll be looking at the team who's winning the title, looking at Salah, pushing into mid-30s, you know, Van Dijk, who will be in his mid-30s, getting multiple-year deals. And De Bruyne is a better footballer than, I know the different positions, than Van Dijk. And for my money, De Bruyne is the best footballer in the league. Salah's the best direct goal scorer. But in terms of best footballer, it's De Bruyne. In the same way, whatever biased Chelsea fan, I thought Hazard was a better footballer than Salah, but Salah's just a really effective, and I understand why they signed. And I said in that video, go watch it. I understand why they're signing Salah up, but I thought Van Dijk was a little bit more risky for a few reasons. Yeah, I felt kind of bad watching that video I just showed you for De Bruyne, because I do think he still has a lot to give. And like I said, like to leave, he'll be thinking to leave Man City in this state. I mean. They're going to do better than my club. They're probably going to finish top 5, get Champions League, and win the FA Cup. But by their incredible, insane, relentless standards, that's a low point, apart from, you know, maybe when he first joined, or when Pep first joined, as he was getting settled. To be honest, Pep finished 4th in his first season. They might finish 5th, so he'll be feeling like he doesn't really want to leave on this low point, you know. That maybe he could play till he's 34, 35, then go to MLS for a couple of years and do, like, what Lionel Messi's doing. Remember, the younger players now are going for longer and longer and longer. Like, don't be surprised if footballers are going to get older and older and older in terms of how nutrition works and how players look after their bodies. Look, De Bruyne leaving Manchester City as a 33-year-old isn't a crazy story. What is crazy is him just really wanting to stay while he's playing well. And he's the captain, and, you know, is he their greatest ever player? City fans, you tell me. Yeah, Football 365 writes about his potential landing destinations, but he's talked, you know, at length to different media outlets, saying, I'm not the youngest, but I feel I'm very able to perform at the highest level. At the highest level. Not Saudi, even though he has been tempted by the money before, the way he's talked about it. MLS, probably the lifestyle, you know, is luring to him. He has talked about before how all his kids have been born in Manchester. I don't know if he wants to take them abroad just yet, or however old they are. He might think they're too young to sort of change their lives as well. He might want to stay in the Premier League, and there's talks about staying in the Premier League, yeah. He just says, look, I don't know what teams are interested. It's probably quite a few, Kev, or what they want to do, but whatever project is available, I'm willing to listen. Now, who is going to look at KDB? Because he says it's been spoken about, he could stay in the Prem. There was also a former Man United winger here on Football 365, Lee Sharp, has been quoted talking about De Bruyne staying in the Premier League, saying, I could see him staying in Europe. Over the last couple of weeks, he's got himself fully fit again. He's firing. He's got to the age where he's enjoying every second because he knows it's coming to an end. I think it could be worth a gamble for Liverpool. Which I'm sure the Man City fans would like. Joe Cole, if I'm Chelsea and I'm sitting around with the ball, I'm saying we need experienced players, get Kevin De Bruyne back. Kevin De Bruyne has already stated himself as a Chelsea reject. Imagine if he comes back, says, all right, Cole, Palmer. No, Chelsea aren't gonna. Although freaking David Ornstein's just come out on NBC and said Chelsea were seriously considering Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk just signed a £400,000 a week contract. We would have never paid him that. Similarly, Kev wants a sporting project, but he's going to want money, yeah? He is going to want serious moolah, and yeah, my mob at the moment, certainly, unless they're changing the way they work. But yes, and this article here on Football 365 references the ultimate betrayal. That's the headline. The ultimate. I might even put it in the title of the YouTube video. I ain't saying it. It's Football 365, a news website. It's the ultimate betrayal. So he's been pushed out of Man City. I don't think he would betray Man City personally. That's my thoughts. Let me nail those colours to the mast because of his incredible, time with them. He should get a statue. Do you know what I mean? So he's not gonna go to Liverpool. But that's what the streets are saying. That's what the crap rags are saying. Either way, he doesn't want to go, and you can see that from literally what he's saying. So incredible story, really. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. As always, thank you for liking and subscribing. Jump on the Football Yannick hype train. I hope to see you down the road with me as we pump out more content every day. All right, peace.